Well, hey, today we're going to be answering the question, can I see my property when I'm not there? This is something, as we're dealing with customers and potential customers on a regular basis, this type of question comes up. So we're going to be discussing it today. It's a part of a recent situation that we helped a customer with, and we're going to kind of break that down today. Our mission at Loc-Doc Security is to help you protect your people and your property. And so as part of that, well, you oftentimes want to see your property when you're not there. So we're going to be talking through that today. This is Zach Pfeiffer. My name is Chad Lingefeld, and we're going to dive into this conversation today. So Zach, you helped a customer with this very problem. They contacted you and said, hey, I'm having this issue. How can I see my property when I'm not there? What was the issue that they were having?
Yeah, so they had multiple issues, but their main concern was dumping trash at a trash can. Yep. So at a dumpster, yep, they had a lot of trash that was just being dumped after hours, during hours, and it was responsible of the property management to pick up that trash.
Yeah, to get it cleaned up.
They got to pay for that.
I would imagine it's very common. I know at our business park here, where our offices are located, there's several dumpster corrals in the back, and it is very common, especially if you see what's there on Friday night. When you come back on Monday morning, there's mattresses and random furniture that you wouldn't necessarily assume to be that in a business park. And then at the end of the day, who's responsible for that? The property owner, the property managers. They're the ones that have to come in and clean it up, or pay somebody to clean it up. Absolutely. Or haul it off, which, you know, understandably, if you've had to go to the dump anytime recently, it's kind of costly to do that. So people are looking for open areas that they can get rid of their trash.
Absolutely.
And then that becomes the property manager's problem, the property owner's problem to get rid of it. So, you know, that's a common thing. What other types of issues were they having around that property that would? I mean, that's a big issue, but maybe it doesn't necessarily have the need for a
absolutely.
solution.
Cameras, you know, obviously dumping trash. You put a camera on the trash corral so you can see who's dumping the trash when they're coming in. Another problem they were having were car break-ins. So cars are left overnight or even during the day. They were having thefts. People going around just checking doors. That's a huge thing now. It's just, hey, walk around, and I know everybody's seen the Ring doorbells. Like people walking around just checking doors to see if they're open, or traffic accidents. So somebody pulls into the parking lot and creams another car. What happens?
They pull off.
They pull off. So cameras will help you with that, and they can, you know, pinpoint down. You can also get types of cameras that can pinpoint license plates. So pan, tilt, zoom cameras. Pan, tilt, zoom, PTZ. So it pans, it tilts, and it zooms in, so you can actually see what's happening in real time, what's going on right there.
So a property owner comes to you and says, hey, you know, I've got multiple properties around town or maybe in different states, and I need to be able to see what's happening there at all times, but now I've got this kind of just tons and tons of video footage. So how would I take that information and say, okay, well, I know now that I've got somebody dumping trash there, but how do I go back and figure out exactly, you know, when it happened and who it was? Because if I've got 10 cameras on a property and they're recording 24 hours a day, I've got 240 hours of footage to go through to figure out how this happened. Was that part of the conversation as well?
Absolutely. How do we see that video? You know, how do I know that somebody's there? So there's multiple different ways with using analytics. You can do line crossing. You can do people counting. You can draw a box around the area that you want to look. And if someone crosses that motion at a certain time, you can set that certain parameters, you know, after hours or even during hours, to say, hey, whoever goes to that dumpster area, send me an email notification or a text message notification. It'll actually send you a clip of that video. And because everything's cloud-based, using Amazon Web Services, that's how you see it everywhere in the world. So you're not having to rely on a DVR to go out on site and check on that video.
It's interesting, the people counting thing. So I've seen it work in a couple of different ways, but at our Anderson location is a very heavy retail environment. So there's lots of people that come in and out of every day. And we were interested to see how many people are actually coming into the building on a regular basis. And so we put a camera, our team put a camera there right above the door with that line there, and we can actually see on a trend on a graph to know exactly how many people are coming in to the store on a regular basis, and take that data and say, well, from that, how many are actually purchasing things and so forth. But that's very interesting. The other way that I've seen that to be the case, and especially for a scenario like this where you're trying to watch kind of a parking lot area, is maybe you want to see the frequency of amount of cars that are coming into the parking lot, or you might want to find the time of day that's the busiest.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
those are some practical applications.
Yeah, and you can just draw a line and say, hey, notify me every time that comes through. Obviously, that would be a little, you get a lot of notifications. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but you can do that. There's all functionalities that you can use within it.
So you mentioned line crossing, you mentioned drawing a box around something, and all of that, you can get notifications on an email or text message to let you know something just happened. So therefore, you can make decisions off of it. Hey, I actually see somebody there right now that's dumping some trash, or something just specifically happened.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm the business owner or the property owner and I'm trying to figure this out, well, maybe somebody didn't tell me that it happened, or maybe I don't have the motion set up. And I found out 2 weeks later that somebody's car got damaged.
Yeah.
How much time do I have to go back and find that information?
Yeah, so there's different retention periods. So retention is how long that video is going to be stored in the cloud.
Okay.
So those can range from 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 180 days, and just keeps going from there. It basically depends on how long you want to save that video. Now, if you save that video in the system, it will automatically save, and it'll save your camera roll, and you'll have it indefinitely. So you don't have to worry about that. But when an incident happens, most typically, if something happens within 2 weeks. So we recommend 14 days of cloud storage. You usually know that happens with 14 days. I can go back to those 14 days. After that 14 days, it just overwrites on there.
All right, so you can have a certain amount of time. It's going to overwrite it, but then you can also save it. I remember, and I still have it on my phone somewhere. Speaking of the ease of use with that, Nathan, our service manager, a couple of years ago, we had hoverboards that we were riding around here, and he was it a hoverboard or a skateboard? I can't remember, but he came in the back. He was riding it out back and came through and hit a rock.
Yep, I remember that.
And rolled all the way into the building. I still got that video clip, by the way.
So if you just save it, it's already there, and you'll have it indefinitely.
So if somebody's putting trash in the dumpster, or if somebody rolls across the warehouse floor because they were riding a skateboard, it works the same. All right.
Absolutely.
So just to kind of recap, a customer contacted you and said, hey, we've got an issue where people are illegally dumping trash into our dumpster area. We need to stop it. It's starting to kind of cost us a lot of money and hassle. And we've also had some car break-ins, so we want to protect against that. You looked at a camera system, helped them to configure a camera system that would give them that information, as well as give them alerts if something is happening, and then structure that for an amount of time that they could be able to see it online.
Definitely.
Very cool. Yeah. Well, I would imagine other people are going to have similar type of situations. If they want to talk to you about that, what would they do?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways you can get a hold of us. First one is email, sales@locdoc.net. That's sales@locdoc.net. It's pretty simple. Or call our phone number at 704-554-6121 and ask to speak to the account management team.
Very cool. Well, Zach, as we always say, our mission is to help protect your people and your property, and that's one of the reasons that we're trying to answer these questions, to give you some ideas as to things that can be solved in ways that you can protect your people and your property. And we'll be sharing more of those coming soon. In the meantime, you can find out more about these types of questions by visiting our website, locdoc.net/help. We'll see you next time.